Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of Warships. Today's replay is from Spacey, and he is in the Atago, 8 Japanese premium cruiser. He is on hotspot, and it's a ranked battle. So we have a tier 8 ranked battle, and let's just say your friendly team makes some curious decisions. That's also the reason why I'm starting this replay pretty much at the beginning. Oftentimes I will start the replay when we are seeing some action. But let's just look at the chat a little bit, or at the team's decision making. Somebody said the plan is B and A. I mean, on the bright side, I guess the team is communicating. But A and B is the worst plan you could have. Basically, most of the time you see a small force going C and then a force staying here and defend A or B respectively. And the thing is, if you don't send a force to C, the enemy grabs this point for you. And those people at C, they can still help defend A. Can't really push A from the center because then you'd end up in a crossfire, so you'd have to go here, the outskirts. And this means you don't really have a favorable position to push A, and the enemy defending is a lot easier, right, than attacking. So basically it's the worst plan you could come up with, but I guess it's a plan. Now, of course, what you really have to do if you want to push A, you have to push hard, you have to push fast, and you probably have to grab it while the enemy is still at C and maybe inside here and can't help A yet. If you wait too long, then those ships are freed up and you're in a pretty bad spot. Now, let's speed this replay up a little bit. They are already... I could watch your torps. I don't think those torps were all that risky. What's a bit concerning is that both destroyers decided they go here towards the left. They aren't even going here and providing some spotting. Right, we have no information on the enemy team. Both destroyers are somewhere here. The North Carolina earlier was even asking the destroyers to fall back when they were capping B, because I don't know, maybe he doesn't wanna cap. It's a bit mind-boggling what the friendly teams are here. So now, meanwhile, Spacey here is continuing to see. Going here alone is in some ways a bad idea. In other ways, it might be the only way to save this team. Because we even have 2 ships going down the 2 line, right? So it's not enough that they come up with a plan to assault A. They aren't even going to assault A right now. They decide that they want to be as useless as possible. They want to be so far away that they can't shoot anything. They want to be behind a huge island so they can't possibly help anyone. Great decision making right there. So we have a Z-23 who might actually be wise enough to come here and help out against C. Because, well, we'll see what the Atago can do around here. Now, we don't know how the enemy destroyers deployed. I mean, we know they kept C, so there is 1 destroyer in there. The other one could still be around here and try to intercept the Benson. If that Benson gets spotted now, he would probably be in trouble. Yet again, I guess he has smoke. So, meanwhile, Spacey is very careful here. In a way, he knows he has to do something right here to save this game. In another way, it's very risky to be alone. Now, thankfully we know where the enemy battleships are, and if the battleships are actually occupied with the team down there, then probably won't shoot him. And again, are they occupied with the team? Because we still have our 2-line guys who are not... Doesn't look like they have shots at them, and then we have the 2 battleships behind this island. So I'm not sure if actually anybody is engaging. Of course. Also, here we found ourselves a Hydro Destroyer who is sitting here inside his smoke. What do you think? Will this Hydro Destroyer get torped? Of course he will. So that's a great start, because... Well, I mean, the enemy team still has small points, obviously, but getting rid of 1 enemy destroyer is a big deal. Now, meanwhile, the friendly force is in a perfect position to absolutely engage no one, but I guess they will assault A-cap any minute now. Or maybe they won't. Right now, they are pretty busy doing nothing, I suppose. At least the Benson can maybe get some torpedo hits, I guess. Now, the Edinburgh and the Atago haven't started to turn around and defend their cap yet. Maybe they haven't realized on over there. Maybe they just want to sink Spacey here. Maybe they're just confused. Now it looks like the Edinburgh has radar equipped. Not that it's doing all that much right now. And look at that, we have an Atago showing quite a bit of broadside. Now the Z-23, while he is around here, he hasn't actually decided to come and help all that much. He is just sailing out here and probably waiting. I mean, maybe that radar caught him and scared him away, but now it's on cooldown. So that would be the perfect opportunity to go in there. He could like provide a smoke screen, provide some spotting. Maybe he will do something at some point. Now, meanwhile, on the left side, the friendly team has mostly positioned themselves that they can actually do something, and maybe they will start pushing A now, like 7 minutes into the game. The Charles Martel, on the other hand, had enough of this game, and he decided that he just wants to go back to his 2-line. Now, meanwhile, we have an Edinburgh here who... Is he beaching himself? Possibly. He's also showing quite a lot of broadside. Now Spacey himself makes sure that he is somewhat angled against an Edinburgh, because otherwise it will hurt quite a lot. And yeah, I think that Edinburgh beached herself, and that makes her a very easy and juicy target. And there come the Citadels. There is a high caliber award, so nicely done. We don't know where exactly the enemy Atago went. I suppose he... There he is. Oh, he's still around. Z-23 here finally coming in. And there goes the Edinburgh. Meanwhile, the friendly team might actually be capping A here. Or well, I guess at least they are trying. Now... Enemy Atago is content enough to show a little bit more broadside, and the friendly destroyer is here now to deploy a smokescreen. Unfortunately, that smokescreen is a little bit too late, because the only remaining ship here is an Atago, and they don't need a smokescreen to fight the Atago. They probably need to go in and hunt down the enemy ship. I kind of doubt that he'll just sit here with the low amount of health. Now, the assault on the A cap might be going okay. There is still a Tirpitz in there who is probably torpedoing something. Or maybe... Oh, the Tirpitz torpedoed the Benson. Great. So... Well, but they got the Tirpitz. Now, ship-wise, this is looking pretty good. Points-wise, starting to get better. I guess it depends on if the friendlies lose a lot of ships there at A. But this is looking pretty much winnable right now. And there are some Atago torpedoes, but they should be easily dodged here. And yeah, okay, the friendly team is finally cleaning up here at A, so about 10 minutes into the game they actually managed to make their work. So basically they gave the enemy team almost like 10 minutes of free points accumulation at sea. Or that was their plan. I mean, if Spacey and the Z-23 weren't here, then mostly Spacey, because the Z-23 wasn't doing an awful lot. And look at that, there are some more Citadels. Now only one enemy ship is remaining, and this actually turns out to be a win. Mostly because Spacey just went towards C and almost single-handedly sank 3 enemy ships, while the friendly team was busy playing around at A and not doing an awful lot. But you know, I guess all's well that ends well, or something like that. So all that's left is to farm a little bit more damage on a North Carolina. And there is the win. Now here we are with the results, and Spacey managed to get 3,100 base experience. So basically twice the amount of the second one in the team, and that is very much deserved, because without him that would have been a horrible disaster. Basically he went towards C and he almost single-handedly sank 3 enemy ships, while the Z-23 showed up, he wasn't really all that helpful most of the time, and the friendly team was just too busy nothing. Now Spacey earned himself the devastating strike of First Blood at a high caliber, and he scored 128,000 points of damage. Now the sad part is that I'm sure that a lot of friendly teams think now that the BA plan was a very great success, but it was basically just a disaster that was saved by the one person actually going C. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you guys next time.